Pouse out of the house, and today I'm with Big Pouse and we're heading over to Bristol to take a look at a 2016 Honda Grom. So we're not too far away now, about another 15 minutes, and that's Clifton Suspension Bridge up there in the distance. River Avon over there.
Climbers.
Are they up there?
Yeah, it's like no gear up there.
There he is, a bit closer up. Clifton Suspension Bridge in all its glory. Beautiful day for it today as well. So we're about 2 minutes away. Next time I see you, I'll either be test riding the bike or on my way home, so see you in a bit. Right, I'll be back in a minute, alright? Alright guys, so I am on a test run on this Grom that I've just been to view. Right, first problem is I don't seem to be able to get this thing into first gear. Actually it was in first. There's no indicator on there, is there? And I couldn't get it into neutral, so I guess that's what it is. Yeah, it was in first. That's me, having never ridden one of these before. Now, I'm out on this test ride. Lovely lady that I've just been to see this bike for, and to be honest with you, I couldn't be happier with this bike. She wouldn't necessarily know this yet. It's actually up for 2.5, which I think is reasonable. It's the OG original model of Grom. I'm going to give it some now. It's not quite a DRZ, is it? But I tell you what, this is great fun. Pull this visor down a bit. Hopefully that's a bit better on the noise. But I really like this. This is really fun. Wow, this is great fun. Already I got a big grin on my face. It's amazing. Anyone rides a Grom, let me know how you find riding it. But yeah, I haven't actually put any money down yet. I showed her my insurance. She's let me go for a ride. Lovely woman, looked after it. It's got 2 services. She's done one herself. I take her word for it. She's been really honest. She's done about 1,000 miles. It had 600 by the first owner, 300 by the second. So it is 3 owners, but do you know what? I've always been a great believer in go low mileage and an honest bike. There's no point getting a new one. There's a lot of newer ones around, and they've got, you know, 4,000 miles, and they look in the right state. Whereas this thing, I've got to be fair, it's immaculate. I think I found a bit of a gem here. Right, that's enough for me. I'm turning round. I don't need to go any further. This thing is absolute. Oh, it's the first time I've been around a steep bend with it. Got to get used to this gearing. Like I said, it's no DRZ. I'd be pumping off in second or third now. Oh my gosh. This is like being on a go-kart track. This is amazing. I am so glad I came to buy one of these. I've been mulling this over for such a long time. I was going to get myself a KTM or a Husqvarna 701 or the KTM SMCR. And the DRZ, every time I take it out, it puts a smile on my face. It's an old bike, it's in really good nick, and I thought, do you know what, I'm keeping that, forget it. So I thought I'm going to treat myself to a Grom instead, and that's what, goodness me, our gear's a bit low. So that's what I'm doing, and I will be putting an offer in on this, because I tell you what, it's a lovely bike. But I have to be fair, I was thinking I want it for 221. If she won't go to that, I would pay a bit more, because it's actually in lovely nick. Now I'm going to have to put my poker face on now, because if I go back with a beaming grin, she's going to say he likes it. And here we go. It's different, isn't it? No, different in a good way. I probably need to turn that round, do I? So there we go, guys. Deal done. I'm just driving back round to Big Pouse's van now. There we are. Look, this thing's so small, we'll pop it in front of the van. How cool is that? Right then, let's get geared up. I'll see you in a minute. There he is. There we are, look, all the neighbours are out to see it. I didn't realise that had such an impact on the community. There we are, that'll be what it is then. What's that? Alright, there's another one for sale, is there? Right then.
I don't remember when it last had air in the tires. You might want to check it.
Oh, don't worry, it felt okay. That'll do me. Thank you very much. Ta-da! So there we go. Everyone in the street came out to say bye to this one. Marvellous. It obviously made a bit of an impact on everyone. Maybe it was the bright, silly yellow colour, I don't know, but I love it. Let's go and move out of the way while Big Pouse comes around the corner. There he is, in his beautiful big transit van. Right then, here we go. Here we go. This thing is absolute quality. I love it. Is Big Pouse out? He's out. God, these mirrors are funny. On a red light, test the brakes out. Right, well that was the first thing I noticed. I gave that a good whack then. I just slammed the brakes on, thinking it was going to be like the front disc on the DRZ, and well, I can tell you it wasn't. Not quite as good at all. I think this is the way we're going now. Yeah, it's that front brake. Just adjusting my mirrors. I think I've lost Big Pouse. Well, round town this thing is amazing, I have to be fair. I never thought I'd be so complimentary of this thing. I knew it'd be a bit of fun, but it's alright, you know, it is what it is. It reminds me of the old days of my old 125. But it feels pretty good, this thing, you know, they handle well. It's funny because beginners like them, and they do feel good, but it's what I would say is, because the wheels are so small, I can imagine people falling over on this, trying to take corners too tight and things like that. That's my first observation, because I've never ridden one before, believe it or not. I wanted to test ride one in the garage, a new one, and no one would do it. They gave me the nonsense about not insuring learners for a start. I said I'm not a learner, and then they said, oh well, we just don't really do it because they get them, what they call it, on order, on stock or something from Honda, and basically they get these ones reserved for the garage, and then they'll have another two and another two, and when they ask for them, someone buys when they get them in, and that's it, they're gone. So unfortunately there was nothing like that. I just noticed as well, it's got a fuel gauge. How awful. I've just gone and bought a Grom. I don't even know what it's got on it, but that is handy because the DRZ, I'm always sticking it on reserve. But it's just such good fun, it's alright. It really does pull. I tell you what, anyone that tells you one of these doesn't put a smile on your face is either lying or a complete idiot or just doesn't like bikes. I love it already. I love it. I almost love this as much as the DRZ, which sounds odd. I think it's because it's so small. I just can't believe how fun it is, that's all. I guess I'm just excited. Yeah, but the gear ratio on it's amazing. I thought I was in fourth then, I had one more to go.
That bike's like brand new. It's got all the original stickers on it.
I know.
Sides on the swing arm, the little weights on the end of your handlebars.
Yeah.
Not even like if a kid had had it gets lent.
No, but even the crash bobbins as well, look. Yeah. Someone put them on, I think, through fear of it dropping rather than it wheelies, like, you know?
Yeah.
I gotta be fair, it's like, if you're driving around town, the feeling I was getting then was more enjoyment than the DRZ. It's like, I can't really explain it. You know, like when I was on the 50 years ago with all the boys, like,
why you see the bloody pizza deliveries and stuff using those. They're easy. Then they get a thrash it, and then it's smooth as well. It's the same as nice.
When I turned it on, I knew straight away. So a nice little chat there with the old Pouse Meister, Big Pouse. See, you nod to those big Harley guys, they don't want to know. Oh, it's so funny. They don't want to know. They never do. They never want to know me. I think they see me in my hooded jacket and think I'm some sort of hooligan. I'm probably not far off their age. We can do a bit of filming a Big Pouse's van. He'd like that. He likes looking at his van in the reflection. It's his pride and joy. He treated himself to that a couple of years ago. The works vehicle. Right, there we go. Clifton Suspension Bridge, everyone. Look at that, again in all its glory from the other side. This time we're heading back to South Wales, and I tell you what, on a nice day that looks lovely. Or maybe it's just the euphoria of buying this silly little bike I've just purchased. I don't buy things much anymore, if I'm honest. I never treat myself. The missus doesn't even know what I'm buying. I just told her I'm going to buy a motorbike, and she looked at me with that look as if to say, why? What are you doing? You barely have time to ride the other one. And that's probably the fear, is that she thinks I'm going to be out all the time riding the bike. Fat chance of that with two kids the age of my children, but there we go. Whatever, got to treat yourself, haven't you? I haven't actually spoken to you about the bike, so going into this Clifton Suspension Bridge would be a lovely scenic way to describe the bike. Now, the lady I just bought this bike off, lovely lady, completely honest. How do I politely say? She was a little bit more elderly, not old, but she wasn't a young hooligan, let's put it that way. She had owned this, she said, since about 600 miles. It's done 2 services, she's done one herself. I fully believed her, she had no reason to lie really, and the engine on this sounds absolutely perfect. It purrs along, no noise, you listen to it. When I first turned it on, I knew straight away. The colour, probably a bit brash for some people. I love it, I love the yellow. It's my kind of thing, it's almost a mustard sort of yellow. And I've always loved the mustard, so that's a good thing for me, maybe not for other people, but I don't really care. It's the original model, the OG, but it's a 2016 plate, so it's one of the last registrations of that model, and I can just keep it stored in the garage now. It's not going to rust. It's a Honda. They don't tend to rust. You don't get corrosion. So if I garage this and look after it, the thing's not going to age. And for what I paid, and I haven't told you that yet, I ended up paying $250 for this. I wanted it for less. I offered it 2,000. I know it was a bit cheeky, but I thought I've got to. That's what I do. But she wasn't having it. She was a tough cookie, and if she's watching this back, because I did tell her about the channel, I said come and watch it. I think she'll be pleased. She put up a good fight. Sometimes I think I usually get a bit more out of them, but not this time. She was holding out, and I don't blame her. It's a lovely little bike, and it's mint. Other than the odds, it's got the odd light mark. I'll probably get it off with a wipe or a little bit of white spirits or something, but it is original, perfect condition, absolutely immaculate. And look down there, it is doing 50 with ease. They're not slow, these. People say they're slow, they're great fun. With all the cameras around these days, I don't really see why that's an issue. Anyway, this is a 50, and I'm keeping up with the cars absolutely fine. And do you know what? It's not uncomfortable. I think this might be a bit more comfortable than a DRZ, you know. I can sit to the back of the seat as well. Lovely. It's got the flat seat on this because of the original model, the OG, so yeah, I'm well happy with this. I've got to be fair. You're going to be thinking, how is he going on so much about this Grom? Because it's so much fun, that's why. Sitting on this, I love it. We're following Big Pouse now. I think there's a speed camera ahead because he just jammed his anchors on. I'm hoping he's going to pull over somewhere because we need to strap this into the back of the van now. So I just had a chat with Big Pouse, change of plan. This bike's not got any problems at all, so I'm quite happy to ride it home. It'd be an interesting slog. I got to get up to the M4, cross the bridge, over the Severn Estuary, and then back home down the M4. But I thought, do you know what, this would be a good test on a day like this. You're not going to get a day any better than this to do it anyway, so let's just do it. Let's go for it. Here we go, and it'd be interesting to see what this sounds like now. Loads of wind noise. I'm doing 58 miles an hour. Getting my head down here. Woo! On the front of the bike, flat out. Here we go. There's Big Pouse. We're having a little drag race. Unfortunately, I think the van's going to win. 60 miles an hour. I guess that's the beauty of having a stock engine. It's not going to hurt the engine, I don't think, doing this for too long. Not sure the bike's been ridden like this for a while, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's the most fun actually on these roads. I'm getting blown around a bit here now. but why not? Anyway guys, I'm going to go now. I will be back with you once I get to the bridge, and we'll maybe ride across the bridge together. Ciao. So here we go guys. I am now on the Severn Bridge. What a beautiful view. This one is the Second Severn crossing. Now it's twitchy bum time for me because I thought I had enough fuel in here. It turns out that it just went to red about, oh, I don't know, half a mile before I got to the bridge. I was screaming it at 60. Had it flat out all the way, and well, I'm on red. Like Big Pouse is behind me, but the bridge ain't the place to be strapping the Grom into the back of the van. So I hope this is going to last me till I get over the bridge at least, and then from there I've got to get to the next service station, which unfortunately is quite a bit, and I don't know if it's going to make it. I don't even know if this bike's got a reserve tank. I'm assuming not if it's got a fuel gauge. I don't think they bother on modern bikes, do they? They just say it's empty, run out, and that's it, you've had it. So we've just landed back in Wales. Oh, look at that, we're doing 65. I didn't spot that. 65 miles an hour. I had to stop. I made it to Magor Services, which is just over the bridge on the Welsh side. And I got a bit twitchy. I'll be honest, I've been on that red for ages. And I've been ragging it. I was doing 65, which I'm really impressed with, because I hear stories about people saying, you know, they do all these upgrades and they're getting 70 miles an hour. And don't get me wrong, I was on a long downhill stretch as well, man. So, there we go. What did that just take? 755, it's just like the DRZ. Tiny little tank on that. So there we go then. Front, I should probably learn to read, shouldn't I? I thought this, oh, you just push it down, that's nice. That's cool. Anyone that's got a Grom is thinking he's an idiot, this guy, what a moron. But I don't know much about them. There we go, just turns the switch, lovely. That's pretty tidy. Oh, I'm well happy with this, I have to be fair. Let's do a quick once around now. Yeah. Light, does the light come on? My light stopped working or something? He's in neutral. Start him up. Ah, there we go, he's come on now. Full beam. The light, I was just checking, you have to get the engine on before the light comes on. The light wasn't on just with the ignition, probably to save the battery, I imagine, or something, you know.
Yeah.
Nice bike though. When they are what they are now, I bought it as a novelty bike, you know. You wouldn't buy one as your main bike, it would do your head in like.
Do you want to ride from Magor now instead?
I don't mind. To be honest, if you want to go back on your own way, unless you want to follow me, but it's fun.
There's stuff in the boot anyway, so
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose. If you want to go through, I'll follow you.
Cross the roundabout, turn left, and then double back, and then go down past the brewery then.
So I'm fueled up, and I've decided by there to come into Magor, it's called, but it's just on the outskirts of Magor, and we're going to come down a road past Magor Brewery. There he is over there, look, with the big Stella and Budweiser sign. That is where a lot of your beer comes from. Certainly in this area. I don't know how far they distribute in the UK. But this is going to be a lovely little road to go down now. That M4, I'll be honest, it's not much fun driving flat out at 60 on this thing. That's not what they're designed for whatsoever. The best fun was definitely in Bristol, driving around the city. Big Pouse is off. He's quicker than us. I can't keep up with him. But I'm going to do my best. So there we go, we're back on 64. So this bike is clearly good for top whack, and that's on a stock exhaust. Now here we go, up a hill, look at that. Flat out, full on the throttle, straight down to 50 miles an hour. Sorry, I'm trying to show you the speedo there whilst keeping a look at the road. Got to watch by there over the brow of the hill. Any clown comes driving over the top, I don't want to get knocked off. Oh, I better slow down, we're into a 30 here. Wasn't paying attention then, was I? Right, so we're just entering the village of Caerleon. Nice little village in Newport. Some Roman remains here. They settled here once upon a time. Roman amphitheatre, Roman baths, and that down there is the River Usk. What a lovely day today. I bet everyone's out in the beer gardens there. You've got the Hambury Arms over there, people sat out having a nice beer, so I should be doing it. No such luck. I'll be off now to some mad mental kids running around the house. Last few years there's been a few places have cropped up, you know. I think COVID was bad for some people. I don't mean COVID disease, obviously it's bad for people. I mean the pandemic as a whole, financially. But you look around now, so a lot of little restaurants and coffee shops and things like that have actually popped up, and I think took advantage of it actually quite well sometimes, and it's nice to see them doing well around you. I think the culture's changed as well. When I grew up, I used to just go out and get steaming drunk with my mates. It was all about binge drinking in the late 90s. Noughties, whatever you want to call it. Kids, teenagers, well, even in your 20s, you just go out, you got steaming drunk, pubs, nightclubs. All seemed to change then as I got a bit older, and now, I don't know, kids just don't seem to enjoy the drinking culture so much, which I don't think is a bad thing really. But they'd rather go out and, you know, they're drinking fine spirits or a glass of wine, or having fancy half pints of artisan beer. Like I said, which is nice I suppose. It's just completely far removed from my youth growing up. Used to be pubs all over this place. Still are a few, but again they sort of turned into restaurant stroke pubs. See how then? Another guy ignored me. He's obviously an adventure rider. Doesn't muck around with people on 125s. Big man. Shame. I've always nodded. That's one thing I do always. I see the learners, they always look at you, they think, I'm on the DRZ, he's not going to do it to me. See, he's the same, not interested. They look, nah, you're not in my gang, mate. What's all that about? Let's all get on. We're all out having a nice ride on a bike, aren't we? Give me a nod. Just parked in front of the DRZ for now. I've got to do a bit of clearing out. The daughter's go-kart over there and a few other things to get out of the way, but the Grom is so easy to move around. I just grabbed that what's that, a pannier on the back, and just slid the back end across. That's what's so great about them. They're like kids bikes, aren't they? But yeah, I'm not going to go into detail of this now. I think I'll do another video really and give you a view around of this, so you can have a good look at it another time, so I can get back in now because my bum's a bit sore. I've been on that bike for a bit and been giving it a blast back from Bristol, so yeah, time to get in, have a nice cup of tea. We'll take a look over this in another video. If you're interested in any of the products I use in this video, then I'll put links to those in the description section below. If you're interested in DIY, go over to my other channel, Pouse Around the House, give that a like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, press that bell icon for regular notifications. I've been Pouse Out of the House. Ta-ta, farewell.